So let me start off from the beginning, a little background about me. I was raised by a single mother still is to this day an Egyptian Wiccan. I was surrounded with paganism my whole life. Never had any type of Christian influence, we'll say. There was never a Bible in our house. Never went to church. Nothing like that. Ran away young. Went to prison. And while in prison, all I did basically was get in trouble, and run around, this and that. But so I was at High Desert State Prison in Nevada, and we were on lockdown because of COVID. And so this was approximately December 20th, 2020. And we get transferred from there across the street to a different prison called Southern Desert Correctional Center. We are living in Unit 3, A Wing, Cell 25. And it is December 20th, 2021. We are on COVID lockdown. Half tier at a time. Our side is on lockdown. The other side is out milling around using the phone, whatever. And I was actually, it's about 1:30 in the afternoon approximately. And I was actually writing a birthday card for my girl whose birthday is on Christmas. And I felt a little odd. I was sitting on the bunk. He was on the top bunk. I was on the bottom bunk. And I felt just odd. I can't really describe how I felt. I just felt weird. I got up. I went to the sink with my cup. I got a drink, filled it up with water, took a drink of water. I sat back down on the bed and I dropped dead. It didn't hurt. There was no pain. I didn't feel no numbness or pain in my left arm or nothing. I didn't feel any pain at all. I just slumped over dead. And this is what I seen when I was there. So the very first thing that I seen is I was in a valley. And when I say a valley, it was like a desert scrubland, like a high desert almost. There was nothing man-made. There was no poles, roads, buildings, streets, cars. There was not one thing man-made. And I want to say, that I felt like I was maybe a few feet off the ground and still in this body. And I could see a man, though. There was a man off in the distance, maybe a quarter mile or less away. But I felt like the way he was looking at me was the same way your dad used to look at you when you did something wrong. That look. And he was just looking at me, and I didn't want to look at him no more because, it was, I guess, shame and things of that nature. And I used to wear glasses. I was nearsighted. And then all of a sudden I seen wisps of a dark gray fog come up. And I thought my glasses were dirty. So I tried to look over them. I tried to look underneath them. And I realized it wasn't my glasses dirty. It was coming off of me. And it got to be more and more. And it went from a little to a lot. And I looked down, I seen it was coming off of me, like off my chest. And next thing I know, it just got fog, like I couldn't even see through it. And it was just like, oh. And that's when it began. And it was horrible. It was horrible. I relived every horrible, bad, evil thing that I ever did to another person through their eyes. And I experienced all the pain that I brought them, that they felt, that they experienced. I experienced it through their view. And all the hurt and pain that I ever brought to another, I experienced that. I felt what their families went through, the loss they went through, everything. And Mr. Parr, after 29 years in prison, I did some bad things to people. I did some bad things. And I don't say that to glorify it in any way. It's a shameful thing. And I did some bad things, man. And I went through every bit of it, and it's like you relive it and you experience it to the T. You get every last little drop of hate that you put out, man, you receive it back. And yet at the same time, my mouth burned. I mean, burned. And my lips felt like they were just chapped and cracked. And instead of a tongue, it was like I had a coal in my mouth. And man, if you opened your mouth, it only burned worse. And I tried to keep my mouth shut, but you can't, because I was forced to retell every lie, deceptive thing that I said here. I retold it there. And I burned, and it's like the burning, the pain is the pain that it caused to the person I was lying to. And it burned so bad, and I would try to keep my mouth shut, but you can't. You're just forced to open it, and as you let it out, it's like fire coming out. And it was horrible. And this seemed like it went on for an eternity. It wouldn't end. It just nonstop. And all these things I was going through, and it's not like a fast forward. It's like, man, it's you every nanosecond, all the bad things I said and did towards others, I relived it. And I cried. I remember I could have filled a 50-gallon drum up 10 times over with my tears. And I was just crying, crying in pain over the things that I did. And after what seemed so long, a question was posed to me. Do you want to live or die? And sir, I didn't think that I would ever leave prison, because I had done some bad things. I was involved in gang life. I've never taken one program, victim empathy, commitment to change, or anything like that. I was involved in some pretty bad things. And the question was posed, do you want to live or die? And it didn't seem like it was, answer now. No, it was just, do you want to live or die? And I could never see myself getting out of prison, but I know for sure that I didn't want to be in that torment one more split second. And I said, I want to live, even if I had to spend the rest of my life in a dirty, damp, dank, nasty smelling cell with the drama of gang life for the rest of my years, would be better than the torment and the anguish that awaits one in judgment. And so I said I wanted to live. And as the smoke became less, I noticed that now I wasn't reliving all the hurts that I'd caused to others. And the smoke started to become less. And my tears of pain and hurt now were tears of gratitude. For the first time in my life, I knew what it was like to be grateful. Just that lessening, and the pain was still there, but just to turn it down a touch was such a beautiful thing. And my tears, my tears were like tears of joy, and it became less and less and less. And I was so grateful that my tears were now tears of gratitude. And eventually the smoke stopped, and that man was still standing out there on the other side of this valley, I guess. And he was just staring at me. He didn't say a word. And instantly, and I ain't never did this in my life, I fell right to my knees, and I looked to the one to the left of me, and I begged to stay, because I'd never experienced such beauty or love. And as I begged to stay, I opened my mouth to talk, and words didn't come out. It was like I could see melody coming out of my mouth. And as I went to speak, you could almost see the melody, but no words there. And the being to the left, he just turned and looked down at me. And he had perfect love, peace, and joy on his face. And I could still feel the tears on my face drying. And all I could experience was that same love. And it's a love that knows no apex. It's a love that will never end. And I stood up and I noticed they were all facing forward and I faced forward. And I realized there was this light and this ambient light that was everywhere. Yet there was no sun. There's no moon. Yet at the same time, there's no shadows. And I remember I looked up at the sky and the sky had a color. It was the very same color as the man's clothes that was wearing the golden suit. And it was beautiful. And if you listen, there's a soft melodic melody that's being played, a music that you can hear. And it's like synthesized chimes and almost like some type of vocals. Yet every rhythm figure that you hear is better than the last. Yet you'll never hear the same rhythm figure twice. And it was beautiful. And as I stood there, it was like I had a new spirit, a new heart. And the way that things are communicated is not through speech, but it's like picture and thought combined together as one. And it happened instantly. All of a sudden, I was standing there, I'm soaking this in. 2 are right here, 3 are right here, and we're just facing forward. I'm kind of looking around. I'm feeling, my teeth. I'm thinking nothing's hard. I'm trying to soak all this in. And in the twinkling of an eye, I woke up. And the first thing I said as I felt all the pain in my body, I said, my chest hurts bad. My chest hurts bad. I went back out. This happened a few times. I was in the hospital. They were running me through machines and this and that. So the very first time that I was actually able to wake up and stay conscious, I was in a hospital bed, chained to the bed, and there was 2 correctional officers at the foot of my bed, one with a pistol. And I woke up, and I just started, immediately I started going through everything that I had experienced. And they looked at me and they're like, man, are you okay? And I was just like, I didn't say nothing. They're like, do you know what happened to you? I'm like, and they said, listen, man, you were dead. And I'm like, my chest hurts. And they said, well, I bet the gang investigator and us were giving you CPR and actually broke your chest. We broke your chest went flat, your stomach got big. We backed off you, and all of a sudden your chest went boop, 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 boop. That man's name is Ruiz. I don't know if he still works for the Nevada Department of Corrections, but yeah, that was his name. He's the one that actually told me this. So I went back to the prison. I got back to the yard, and I must have shook 300 to 400 sets of hands, from inmates to correctional officers to caseworkers, and even a warden called me into the office and wanted to talk about it. Just saying, man, I prayed for you. I prayed for you. I mean, man, it was a big scene. The yard was open. Everybody watched them drag me out of their bed. And so now at the time, I was actually, my assigned job was the groundskeeper of the Wiccan land. I was the high priest of the Wiccan. I taught the classes and led the ceremony. So, man, to all my brothers and sisters out there, don't harden your heart. Don't let your heart become heavy. Forgive yourselves. And man, spread the love, peace, and joy. I promise I've lived a life of 8. And man, it was horrible. Spread your love, peace, and joy. Wake your spirit up and begin to receive the blessings that are already showering down upon you.